G'day folks, welcome to another PTP Fishing. And after Enoggera the other day, it seems silly not to come out and hit Lake Kawongbar, so that's where I am this morning. If social media is anything to go by, all of our bass lakes here in southeast Queensland seem to be on the improve. Some of them fishing incredibly well in what I would call early in the season. When I say early in the season, this warming period tends to be the best bass fishing that we have here in southeast Queensland. Yeah, as the water warms, the fish that are schooled up push to the edges looking for that banquet of food that's there, and yeah, us as anglers can take advantage of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Kawongbar fishes today. Certainly it looks like the lily or the weed edges have moved back a little bit, which gives us a few more targets to target these fish with. I've got some stuff to play around with today as well, which I'll explain as we go. I'm just looking forward to being on the water. Like I said at Enoggera the other day, you just, when you haven't bass fished for a little while, you just forget how hard these guys hit and then how hard they fight. So as I said, looking forward to this morning. I hope you enjoy watching the video. Welcome to another PTP Fishing. This fog has literally just rolled in and my visibility is gone. I'm not quite sure how much the cameras will pick up, but I'm just going to have a little prospect. I've got a spinnerbait on at the moment. The weed is actually a little bit deceiving. The weed's still there and it's still prolific. It's just a little bit further under the surface. So I think the key to today is going to be finding where that weed edge drops off into deeper water, because I think that's where the fish will sit. There's certainly not a lot of visual cues at the moment, but the plan of attack is just to prospect, see if I can find my way to these edges. So sort of stay a little further back than I would normally do, find that weed edge and then just pepper it. So we'll see what happens. Gosh, that weed's still coming out a long way. Find the edge of that. Wow, even all the way out there there's weed. Oh, there's the first fish. Straight in the weed. Wow. So I said the key would be finding the edge of this weed. It took me 3 or 4 casts to find that edge. He was obviously right on that edge. Look at him buried in there. Far out, that's a nice fish too. That's a lovely fish. Wowee. Can't see much of him because of that bit of weed at the moment, but he's hammered that. Oh, what a great start that is. Check this guy out. That's pretty exciting. I must admit I wasn't expecting to get anything where I am right now, but great little start. I don't really know what to say. As you can see, I'm a little surprised, but it's a good quality fish, most probably high 30s, maybe 40 centimeters. Anyway, we'll pop a measure on him, pop a tag in him, and I'll come back to you. So, a little bit surprised there, and hopefully you can see me, but 425, much bigger fish than I expected it to be, and any fish over 40 is a cracker at Kawongbar. Anyway, this guy can go home. And what I wanted to show you is, I guess, what I'm really doing here today, other than creating a video for you, And as you know, I work for Fishing Monthly magazine, and one of the things I do for the magazine is test products. And today is all about comparing this Shimano bait cast reel and a Shimano Curado bait cast reel. So this is an SLX, I guess a medium entry-level bait cast style reel. Never used it before. It's matched on a Shimano Zodius rod, and what I'm going to do halfway through the fishing is actually swap this reel with the Curado on this rod, and that way I can sort of compare castability, I guess all the little adjustments that you can make so that you can cast correctly depending on the lure that you're using. So that's my plan of attack today. That's a pretty cool start. So first fish on this guy here is a 42.5 centimeter bass. So pretty stoked with that start. As I said to you, I think the key today will be finding those weed edges. When I find those edges, I think that's where the fish will be. So where the weed is shallow and then it drops off into deep, that's where they're going to be. Anyway, pretty sure the fish were back over there. Let's see if I can find another one. It's funny, I said to myself, cast over there. Well, where is over there? One thing I've noticed already with this reel is it does cast really well. It was the one thing that I expected, that maybe the castability would be not up to the standard of a lot of the bait cast reels that I use, but no, it's been excellent so far and certainly dealt with that fish easily enough. You know, again, we're not talking BFS sort of reels here. We're talking a reel that's designed to cast, and bait cast reels in the end were designed to cast heavy lures accurately, or heavier lures accurately. The BFS thing is something that's come in recently and obviously has taken off, and it's great to see bait cast outfits being used for more finesse things, but certainly that's not what today is about. Today is about casting, you know, a 3/8 half ounce spinnerbait, some other lures that I've got, some slightly lighter lures, just to see what the castability is like. But yeah, so far the SLX has been pretty good. Just need to find this weed edge again. Gotta be joking. Might be a sign that I need to change lures, I think. I'm getting lots of taps. Maybe the spinnerbait at this point in time is just that little bit too big for these guys. I don't know. I really want to fish the spinnerbait. It might be time to put a lipless on just for a little bit, just to see if I can convert some of these taps into actual hookups. I think that's what I'm going to do. Beautiful morning it's become. Yeah, there's a fish. I'll finally turn one of those little taps into a fish. Not a big fish, tiny fish compared to that first one, but hey, it's a fish in the kayak. So the change to the lipless crankbaits worked. There you go. Been a while between drinks. 28 centimeters. Thanks for coming. See ya. So as you can see, there's still a lot of weed way out in the open. So it has dropped back a little bit, but all it's done is drop just below the surface. So this is an area where I would normally actually fish, but what I'm trying to find now is just where this now drops into slightly deeper water. So there's a weed face. It's starting to thin out a little bit here, but Yes, there's still plenty of weed at Kawongbar. That big explosion of this kabomba weed has really changed the fishery quite a bit. Anyway, this looks good. Let's have a fish here. Oh, I don't think this is a very big fish either. This weed had to hold some fish. Oh god, that's a tiny one. Let me up. Thank you. Okay, so that's 2 fish in reasonably quick time. We just need the fish to be 10 centimetres bigger. Feels better. That definitely feels better. Come here, buddy. Nice. Well, I don't know if you can sense the frustration in my voice, but I'm really struggling with this weed to even find the edge. Even with the sounder, you come over the edge, but there's just more weed beyond. So finding these steep edges where these fish are sitting is proving very, very difficult. Anyway, that's better than the last couple of fish. 325. Thanks for coming. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the Shimano SLX reel over for the Curado, give that a bit of a flick, and that way I can just feel the differences, and hopefully I'll find a few more fish so I can test it out as well. So there we are. So it's now become a Zodius Curado HG combo. Feels a fraction lighter, the Curado. I'm not quite sure whether it is or it isn't. Anyway, all we can do is go and have a fish now, but yeah. Same Zodius rod, just swapped it over to the reel over to the Curado. Let's go and catch some fish. Each bite has been a little bit of a surprise so far. Feels like a reasonable fish, this one. Like I said, that it has been very, very difficult to find the fishable zones because there is so much weed that you can't see. It just seems to be endless. Oh, this is a nice fish though. It is a nice fish. Come here, buddy. Come on. Lovely. So still no monster. Just over 35 centimetres. And the bites are infrequent would be the best way of explaining it. You go back in there. See you later. Yes, the bites are infrequent would be the best way of explaining it. Again, I go back to what I was saying. It is quite frustrating because the weed edge there isn't a distinct drop off. It just keeps going and going and going. When you think you've found that drop off, you start fishing towards it and you realise that there's just as much weed underneath you as there was at the drop off. So yeah, interesting, very, very different to pretty much any other time I fish Kawongbar. So it's going to take some working out, but that's all right. That's half the fun of fishing, isn't it? The million-dollar question: will I find more than one fish in an area? Unfortunately, that's the end of this PTP fishing. It's been a tough day at the office. I can't catch them all the time, but it's one of those things where you've got to come and have a look. The one thing I know for certain, you know, from a fishing perspective, I think obviously the fish must still be in the bottom half of the lake down towards the dam wall. The upper reaches, there's fish there, they're just not there in any numbers, and finding them and fishing to them has been quite difficult. The weed edges are not distinct at all. It's all very spread out, the weed, and it's quite hard to fish, as you saw. So I guess the other half of today has been trying these reels and everything for Fishing Monthly, and I've really enjoyed that. I've certainly made plenty of casts with both reels, caught enough fish to get a few nice photos for the magazine, which is in reality what today was all about. So there's no question the Curado is a lovely, lovely reel to use. You know, has a lot more features to it than the SLX, but I have to say the SLX, I was very, very impressed, to the point where I would fish it any time doing this sort of fishing. There is no question that it covers off casting these sort of 1/4 ounce, 3 ounce, 1/2 ounce lures, no dramas whatsoever. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit about these two reels. Kawongbar, I'll be back because there's definitely more fish to be caught here. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget, like, subscribe, help me grow the channel, and I'll catch you next time from PTP Fishing. See ya.